Welcome to the 10th video in the Simblee for Mobile tutorial series. In this video we are going to highlight the user interface elements of the segment and the slider. Let's dive in. First we'll do the segment, and the segment is I would say a bar on your user interface of choose one options. That's maybe not a very good way of saying it. It's a really hard thing for me to describe right now, and you know what? I think we're just going to go ahead and show it. So Simblee for Mobile, draw segment. We'll throw out some different positions here for fun, because the segment it uses the same origin points just like everything, and then you specify the width of the segment. And in this case, I want to use almost the entire width of my phone's screen. So it's 328 wide. I set it to be 300 wide, and starting at 14 is going to basically position it in the center. So starting point, width, and then we'll skip this parameter. It's necessary, but I want to skip it. And then number of segments. So in this case, we're going to have 3 segments in this segment. It's kind of goofy, but three positions. There we go. 3 positions in this one segment. And this argument right here that we have to fill in still is the name of each of those positions. And it's a little bit tricky how to do this. You have to come up here and you're going to need to set up a global variable, and it's a const character array, and we'll call this segment titles. And it's going to be an array of character. Let's see, it's an array of character arrays, basically an array of strings. And we need there to be 3 different strings in here, and we're going to set them equal to first position is going to have the title apple, second one banana. I should have left the Z, and the third is going to be carrot. So then we're going to come down here and we're going to say segment titles. Now I'm gonna verify the code here to make sure that I haven't made a mistake yet. Alright, done compiling, everything went well. So right now we have a valid user interface element that we could show on the phone. I'm gonna create another one though, and then we'll go to the phone. So let's just copy and paste that. And then after the number of positions is specified, here we have 3. We're going to specify color for this one. So we'll call this one black. This one is going to be the default color, which is blue, and then this one is going to be not the default color. We're going to call this one black. That is the entirety of the possible arguments for the segment element. We need to space these out though. And each of them are going to have 3 elements in them, 3 positions, I'm sorry, in them, and they're going to have the same titles. So let's load this up to the Simblee, and you'll finally get to see what I've been trying so poorly to explain. All right, we'll connect up, and there you go. So you can, each one of these is a segment, and they have 3 positions, each with individual titles, apple, banana, carrot, and you can pick one of them, and it retains that. So you can't choose apple. See if I can't choose apple and banana. It's only one. And then down here, these are independent segments, so they're just they just happen to have the same names and number of positions. But those are segments. To show you that they are a transparent background, I left the screen background of that light gray color so that you can see that basically whatever the screen is going to be the background on the segments. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Now let's move into the slider element. Alright, to add a slider to the screen, we're just going to use the draw slider function. And we will give it the same spacing as the sorry, as the segments, so it'll take up almost the entire screen. So that's, you know, the same arguments at this point. Origin, so x, y, width, and then for the slider, the next two required arguments are the minimum value and the maximum value. So in this case, we'll give it a 1 and a 10. And that's something that you're not necessarily going to see in the user interface, but it's something that the slider is going to have. It's a value that the slider is going to have that you can draw upon in the event structure. So we're not getting to it quite yet, but later in the event structure, when you slide the slider around on your phone, you can capture which value between, in this case, 1 and 10 it is sitting on. So those are the only required arguments for the slider, and then the only optional argument for the slider is color. So we'll give ours green, and we'll upload that. Take a look. Okay, so there we go. First slider, second slider here. This one's the default, which is just a blue color, and then this is the one we added the green color to. And even though there's a minimum and maximum of 1 to 10 on these sliders, it's not like they just stay at a position of 1 to 10. They can be at any position along this slider here, but they will hold a value when we want to access it of 1 to 10. Oh, I backed up somehow there. Alright. And the sliders can be as wide as you want them to be. Whether you want them to take up the full screen or not, it's up to you. Alright, so that's the end of our segment and slider video. In the next video, we're going to address the user interface elements of the stepper and the text field for user input of text, which is actually a very valuable resource. Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll watch the next one. Thanks.